Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Not a secret, can you keep it? Swear this one you'll say. Better lock it in your pocket, taking this one to the grave. And I'll show you that I know you won't tell what I said. 'Cause two can't keep a secret if one of them is dead.
That was pretty good tonight.
You guys, but I noticed that she does her before. Sorry, I just had to say that.
I would like to say, though, we are steadily improving, but you can still give us comments about how we're not. That's
I want to
totally
be
fine.
Aria next time.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, if you haven't already guessed, we are here doing another Pretty Little Liars after show for you all. And I can't believe it, season 6, episode 8. We're really rearing through this season.
We're getting there.
I know.
We're almost there, you
Finally.
guys. Almost.
And I still don't have any answers.
Yep. This was supposed to be the summer of answers, and we have 0 answers.
Yeah.
I feel like tonight we got a little closer to answers, but we didn't get answers. I agree.
I feel like they're just teasing us, like, oh, guess what? Just kidding.
Haha, you guys
Yeah.
fell for it again.
Marlene's just like sitting in the writer's room, just like laughing at all of us for sticking around for 6 seasons and not having any answers.
Yeah, right. Or she's
like-
like freaking out because she finally has to give answers and she doesn't know them.
Yeah.
She's like, you fools.
Either way, but tonight's episode was called Framed, which makes a lot of sense after watching the episode because it's literally some framed photos going on.
I am happy that finally everyone's not suspicious of them. It's not like, oh, these girls are up to something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like someone's out to get these girls.
You're right.
They get
This
it.
was probably the first episode that we've seen where Tanner is like 100% on their
Right.
side.
I agree completely. Like
She's like,
it
we need
was,
to protect you.
Yeah.
but she
It
doesn't
only
seem,
takes a kidnapping for that.
yeah. She seems to be moving a little slow for that, to be honest. Like it's like we
Yeah.
need to figure it out, but there's not like a lot of motivation. It seems like behind that, or a lot of like, I don't know. It felt like still she was going kind of like, well, we need to figure it out, but not really taking action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I feel like there's still a ton of information that the girls could give Tanner from the past few years.
Yeah.
You know, like, they should have gone to the police forever ago. And why they didn't is
Because they
stupid.
had secrets, like
Yeah, and they thought that they would get in trouble for
Yeah,
whatever reason
for
with the
drinking
police for it.
and lighting and
Yeah.
blinding Jenna.
I think we got so excited by this episode, guys, that we didn't even introduce ourselves or say that we
Oh.
are live on YouTube. And you can
We're
always...
live on YouTube.
We are live on YouTube, and you can comment and...
I'm on the
lovely-
live chat.
Yes, you're gonna... We love... Your live chat is always the best for Pretty Little Liars, so we want to hear from you. Also, you can go on SoundCloud and iTunes, don't know what I'm saying tonight, and rate and comment. Let us know what you're thinking about everything that's going on tonight. Of course, I'm Stephanie Wenger.
I'm Kristin Strange. You can follow me on Twitter, on Twitter, at Kristin_Strange.
We're doing awesome. It's good.
And I'm Hannah Prichard, you guys. You can follow me on Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
And I'm Heather Joy Smith, and you guys can tweet at me and follow me at Heather Joy Smith.
I think this episode got us ultra excited because we just jumped straight
Yeah, we
into it.
did.
Well, I feel like we have so much to talk about, so we just need to get right to it.
I agree. I want to talk about kind of this big revelation that they think they've figured out Charles and who Charles is. And it's this Reese Matthews person who has to do with Hannah's scholarship. And they meet with him allegedly about the scholarship, but they know he's got some dark secrets. And we see, I think, surveillance video towards the end of... Is it surveillance video? It's video of him with those photos at the end of the episode. And I think it's him. Again, tweet me.
It looks like it
We
could
think.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, we think it's him.
It looks like the back of his head, but I mean, it could be another blonde male.
Well, I mean, Jason.
Yeah.
They say how much he looks like Jason. So there's other possibilities out there. But I think it's interesting that they finally have a suspect that they're truly pointing to.
Yeah, which I absolutely get that because he does look like Jason, and I would agree he seems like the most practical to be Charles because of the way he looks. But if that's the case and he does end up being Charles, then I don't feel like Charles is A. Because I feel like it would be so silly for them to introduce a character two episodes before finding out who Charles is and it being like a brand new character. Like, I feel like that would just be cheating.
Well, she said we've seen a
That's what I was just
face
gonna say.
before. So that's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, this new person, Clark, and this new person. Like,
No,
they're maybe affiliated somehow or another, but they're not A because we've seen A's face before, so it has to be someone we know.
Exactly.
Right.
The other thought, and this I cannot take credit for, a fan tweeted me this week, was that maybe it's someone we saw in a photograph. Like in the background.
Interesting.
They're going to be like, in season 1, episode 13, you saw a photograph behind Aria's head. It was a little blurry.
That was Reese, you guys.
Yeah.
We told you you've seen him.
Yeah. So that made me question everything because I've been looking at, I guess, the speaking parts of Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, and then has this character just been like, yeah, I'm just going to wait until you guys decide to let A know. I'll just be hanging out. you
Yeah,
know?
I'm not going to get a job in the meantime.
Yeah.
No worries. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, that would be really interesting, though, if that was somebody we'd just seen and, like in the Montgomery's living room, like, oh, it's a family photo, but somebody, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a really fascinating twist, though I think I'd be really frustrated
I
by
would be
that.
pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think fans would not enjoy something like that happening. They've been told it's somebody that we've known kind of thing.
Right.
So for them to kind of throw somebody random in at this late in the game, I think people would be really upset.
Yeah, if it's just, we were upset that it was Charles.
Right.
All of a sudden it's like, oh, guess what? A is Charles. Like, we just found out that this Charles exists and now he's A.
Well, I'm fine with A being Charles or this idea of Charles. It just has to be Charles then has to be a character that we've seen and gotten to know in the previous seasons.
Yeah.
But if this new dude, Reese, is Charles, then it better not be Charles.
Yeah.
Then A better not be Charles, because that would
Well,
just...
obviously A is 2 people because
Yes.
there's Red Coat and...
Oh, which you guys, I have to apologize to you because I got called out a lot for thinking that it said Freddie on that package when it said Allie. So I'm sorry. I clearly can't read. So that's all I have to say.
We'll work on that.
But I think we've also talked about the possibility of 2 A teams before, that there's like a red coat army and a like black coat something, and they're working separately. And we clearly saw, and I thought this was a big revelation tonight, that they're clearly working together because we saw them watching the art gallery surveillance together. We saw them at another point watching, I believe, the mothers together at the coffee table. They were both, and in the car at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's pretty clear that that's not a thing. That they're
joined forces.
Do you think they've joined forces, or have they always been a singular force?
I would think always a singular.
Really?
I would think they were always together too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we saw Allie dressed as Red Coat before.
And
I mean, we've seen
True.
Cece dressed as Red Coat before.
I was going to say, but people are obsessed with the idea that Cece is red coat.
Yeah.
I know, which to me is like an overkill. Like, I don't
kind
want an obvious answer. Like,
That's a little too obvious.
yeah.
I kind of want a red coat. Isn't it cute?
It's
Oh, it's
totally
really cute. I actually have one like it without the hood. Like, I'll wear it next week.
Maybe for the Halloween episode, we can all
I'll
dress
dress
up
in
as
a
red
red
coat.
Oh, okay, guys.
Great.
So let's jump into, is Clark working with this
No.
with Reese?
No.
I feel like this is too
He was
convenient.
just at the wrong place at the wrong
Right.
time. He
Yeah.
seems very concerned about Aria. Maybe he's really interested in crime.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I definitely question his motives. He did seem to be after answers from Aria.
Yeah, and I think the whole Baltimore, his parents' story, I think that was a little. I didn't really
Yeah.
trust that story too much. So I did feel like he was being a little bit shadier in tonight's episode.
Yeah.
But I still don't 100% believe, like, he went there to go meet Reese, they're A, whatever. Like, I don't believe all that hype.
No. I think that, like, it's a possibility that he maybe could be working under A, but not realizing that he is. Like, maybe he's, I don't know, got himself into some trouble or something and maybe, like, working for the wrong person, but I think he's completely innocent in his intentions.
Yeah.
See, I feel like innocent is too far of a stretch, but maybe naive to what he's really trying to do.
Yeah.
That's better. Poor choice of words.
No, I just like innocent sound like, oh, I'm in the like doing nothing wrong, and I feel like he must know he's doing something wrong. He just might not know that he's actually up against Aria.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. Because I feel like he would want to date Aria if
Totally.
given the option. Like
guys and girls can be friends too.
Yeah.
Clearly not as of tonight.
yeah. Come on, guys. And then let's see. Was there more about him tonight that we wanted to get into? I feel like that was kind of his storyline. Was that
Clark's?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
he's
that's pretty
done.
much it.
We're
Yeah,
done.
he's done. We're done with Clark.
I'm over him.
Sorry, guys. No more Clark.
Well, no, I mean, I just feel like he's interesting because he's like so supportive of Aria, then has this secret family life and a secret.
I don't have enough information to make an informed decision.
Exactly. We're not going to be able to tell that until next episode, probably.
Therefore, let's move on.
Which actually bothers me though too. I don't understand why he's been introduced this late in the game. Like there seems no reason yet for his character to be involved.
New characters.
I feel like every episode we get a new character.
Yeah, it's been really crazy how many new characters there have been. Because I feel like in past seasons, we've had kind of new girlfriends or love interests or what have you come up, but not like new characters in this way.
Well, especially when we're about to or supposed to be finding out all these big answers after all of these seasons. Why are we getting new character after new character like right towards the end? Is it just to confuse us all? Like I don't.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people on chat are saying when someone said Gabby said, "What if he's a reporter?" Because he was asking so many questions. That could happen. And then Cassie says maybe Clark is being blackmailed.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, me
That
too.
would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I
support that.
I like that idea, especially of the reporter. That's an interesting one because maybe that's why, because he did seem to be literally interviewing her at one point. But before we move on and talk about the rest of this amazing Pretty Little Liars episode, we do all of our programming for free here at AfterBuzz, and I wanted to have a little message from Mazda, so you're going to go ahead and do that for us.
Yes. Does driving matter to you? Driving with the windows down, the wind blowing through your hair, the smell of trees and fresh asphalts. You look forward to these moments when it's just you and the road, no distractions, handling every curve and every nuisance of the road. So ask yourself, does driving matter to you? If it does, we build cars for you, because to us, driving matters. Mazda.
Thanks, Kristin.
You're welcome.
You did such a great job.
Thank you.
So good.
I'm so proud of you.
So let's jump
I'm
back.
ready for to be on Pretty Little Liars now.
I know.
I agree.
That was your audition.
Super proud of you for your live raid, but I want to get into Allie and Lorenzo because clearly I'm too invested in this episode, guys.
I'm a little creeped out by them, which I know is a total double standard because I'm totally team Ezria, and then I'm like, what's going on here? But it's because they haven't built their relationship up. One day they were just like with Ezra and Aria, it was like, no, we can't. Yes, we can. No,
What
it
are
was
you
like,
talking about? In pilot episode, they're making out on the bathroom
But
sink.
she didn't know he was her teacher. But after that, they did this whole like back and forth thing, and he tried to protect her. With Lorenzo, I have no reason to trust him yet, except for that he's a cop. But that doesn't really give him any
Especially in
reason.
Rosewood.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's just like, okay, let's kiss. Okay, now I'm gonna do your laundry.
Okay, that was a little
That
much.
was a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll admit that.
a little too early to be folding
But
the dude's
clearly
clothing.
we know why she might have wanted to stick around a little longer.
I don't think those were her intentions.
I don't feel like she planned to steal his badge. I think she just saw it there and she was like,
Took the
It's
opportunity.
yeah.
I like that. I really like them together. I really do. I know you guys think it's kind of weird, but Allie deserves it. She's the only one who has not really gotten a whole romance thing aside from Emily or past guys before everything happened. I think it's nice to see that side of Allie come out, and that can really only come out with a loving partnership.
Yeah, I think that's why it might be a little awkward at first, is because we haven't really seen Allie with a love interest.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we don't have any information on him. They just bring in this new person and they're like, okay, love each other.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind him so much.
I just find it a little 0 to 60, I guess, for my taste. It just feels a little too fast. He's I don't know. It just feels like they're semi-living together at this point, and that feels really strange for
She
her.
had packed a whole cooler of food for him.
She just made him soup and then did his laundry. Okay.
That's completely normal in high school.
Wouldn't do my boyfriend's laundry now. Like, why? No.
And especially not in high school.
And especially not 2 weeks into the relationship. Like,
Yeah.
no, you could do your own laundry, sir.
He's injured. I do have to say, maybe.
I mean, he only
She's
one
just
arm.
trying to be sweet.
This is how you do laundry.
I know.
That's how you do laundry. You
couldn't
can
fold
still
them.
do it.
Yeah.
You're a big boy.
Maybe he couldn't make homemade soup, but, lean cuisines.
I feel like whenever we get into comparing Pretty Little Liars into the real world, that's where it really gets into dicey territory.
Obviously.
Who are these writers? Is this really how their lives are? Because my life is not like this.
I know, this one writer's like, yeah, that one time that high school girl came over and made me homemade soup and cooked my laundry.
We're going down a dark road, guys. So with Lorenzo, though, good intentions, bad intentions.
Good intentions.
Good intentions.
Riley thinks that Lorenzo actually cares for Allie.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I hope. So Riley hopes that
Agree
actually...
with that as well.
Riley hopes that actually... that
I think I'm the
Lorenzo.
only one who really gets a creepy vibe off of him, because I believe I said while we were watching at one point, I go, his face kind of looks like he wants to kill her, and that's not the best.
I get like a 25% creepy vibe from him.
All right.
Like I 25% think
I would
he's
go
creepy.
for 45%, so I'm not like full on creepy, but 45.
All
I
right.
totally trust him. I really like him.
All
Yeah,
right.
I do too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see how this ends for us.
Yeah.
Next week, everyone's gonna be like, we don't trust him. We don't.
He's the only new character that I like.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The only one.
Interesting.
Right, because I don't like Sarah.
I don't like Sarah. I don't really like Clark anymore.
And what do we think
No.
about Allie being caught with his badge?
Shady. I mean, but that's Allie. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's just, this was such a different time, though, her getting caught doing something bad, because she was doing it out of concern for some, you know what I mean? Like, her intentions weren't to be, like, sneaky or to find out answers. Like, she's really concerned about her brother getting in trouble, and which is so weird because she hasn't met him, but she has this weird emotional attachment to him.
And she was
I thought it
somewhat
was interesting.
involved in, like, it seemed like in turning him in some capacity, or like.
Yeah, but now
One-
she...
One thing, the live chat is reminding us that he gave her a key. Let's talk about that for a second.
Oh, yes. I knew we were missing something. He gave her a key to his apartment.
Yeah.
Did I black out and miss that? Probably.
No, yeah.
He was like, yeah, there's a spare key.
yeah, come back whenever you want. There's
When
a
she took
thing.
the card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like Aria and Ezra's status right there.
And
Yeah.
they've been together for years. Come on, you
Alright.
have to give them a different.
High school things move really fast, though.
Parents like,
must
yeah,
be
I was
really
engaged.
different.
Like, high school, you go from 0 to 60 in, like, the matter of a day. All of a sudden, you're like, we looked at each other in the hallway, and then by, like, third
We're going
period, you're
studying.
holding hands in the hallway, and then by the end, you're, like, meeting each other's parents. Like, I don't know. True
Well,
statement.
someone has to give you
Wow.
a ride home.
Exactly.
True story, Stephanie. Good job.
All right, guys.
Exactly.
Clearly, we know how Stephanie got home from
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's been a really good day.
She got a ride home from work today.
New boyfriend?
She's outside AFTERBUZZ Studios, like,
Who wants to pick me up?
All right, we're going again. We need to stick on Pretty Little Liars, guys. I took it down a weird path. So I want to talk about, yes, the key was so odd. Like, that even adds to my kind of just like a little too trusting. I guess he doesn't have anything to hide because he's giving her access to his place. So that's, I guess, a good sign in some
Totally.
ways. Interesting.
Can't be bad.
But the badge, taking the badge, I thought was such a, like, bold move.
Well, yeah, she knew like, you can't do that and not get caught.
Right.
And, like, liking him that much or whatever, this being new for her, I'm like, girl, the minute you pick up that badge and walk out the door, the relationship's over.
Yeah.
You crazy, crazy human. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it goes back to, like, like when friends talk about, like, oh, I'm texting, like, I looked at his text messages. It's like a lack of trust.
Right.
Yeah, it's really
And how
strange.
did she think that of all places she was going to sneak into, a police department was going to be the one place she wasn't going to get caught?
Right.
And Tanner
Like,
was.
yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't get in more trouble.
Yeah, Tanner was surprisingly calmer than I would have expected.
Yeah.
I really dug her in this episode.
Oh, she was good. I was
Oh.
thinking the same thing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's good in this episode.
She really mama beared out for those
Yeah.
girls this episode.
Yeah.
I really dig it.
I agree. I thought it was like a really interesting, and we got a lot of her tonight, which sometimes
Yeah.
we kind of get this like, ooh, is she good or bad? Like we don't
Yeah.
know because we got one scene with her. Where tonight I felt like she was like more consistently in the episode, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
It kind of made me like more of a mystery, and yeah,
Right.
it was interesting. But another person that I thought did an amazing acting job tonight was Aria, Lucy Hale.
So good.
So
Killed it.
good. I mean, she had a hard monologue in
Oh,
there
yeah.
that was like about, I mean, everyone's seen the episode, but about like her past abuse and what happened to them when they were kidnapped. And to go there, like she went there.
Yeah, she really imagery. You could see her reliving that and talking about being cold on the table and still being cold. She really brought in so many great levels. I was like, she's great. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, actually, I don't know how to say it, but for Pretty Little Liars, it seemed like
was above and
very.
beyond.
It was.
Yeah.
It seemed like a very good dramatic. I don't know. It took it a little bit further, and I really, really dug that.
I think sometimes you know that like they work long hours on this show, and sometimes they have deadlines just like everybody else, and
Yeah.
and they do an amazing job. I'm not taking anything away from them, but
Right.
you know, just the nature of things. Sometimes you don't get the time or the ability to do those kind of monologues, and,
Yeah.
and tonight it was spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really great to see her chops, and it made me actually more excited for what she gets to work on after Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to
Yeah.
see because, I mean, she has such a career going on right
Oh,
now
yeah.
with the music and Pretty Little Liars and taking on film roles. Like, she's really diversifying in such an interesting way. So
Yeah.
that'll be really interesting to see what happens.
Someone
post.
let us know that we always used to see the blonde hair come out of the red coat.
Oh,
thing,
we didn't.
And we didn't tonight, but Sarah cut her hair. What? Who was that?
Oh!
That's a great point.
I know. Let me see who it was, because I want to give them credit. Oh, Brittany Nelson. Thanks,
Thanks, Brittany
Brittany.
Nelson.
You pay attention.
Yeah, 'cause
You're
that's,
good.
That's a really good point. That, yeah, because Sarah wasn't in the episode and she could have been right.
Oh, yeah, she wasn't.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Interesting. All right. Let's take it back to the photo gallery, and that all the parents are really skeptical, or Aria's parents are really skeptical of her going to this art gallery. She thinks it's going to be dangerous. And then they get the police protection, and it still happens. They replace her amazing photographs with these creepy, creepy images of them when they're kidnapped and drugged, is what we come to find out. So what did you think? Did you know that those photographs were going to be replaced? What did you think was going to happen? I knew that something was going to go wrong.
Yeah, I knew something was going to go wrong, and I had a feeling that photos were going to be replaced. I did not know it was going to be that dramatic and that, like, intense of
Yeah.
a moment.
Yeah.
That was dark.
That went dark really fast.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of those things where because I kind of thought, like, maybe the A will be, like, sneaking around the art gallery trying to get close to the girls, and because I feel like A is becoming more and more aggressive every episode.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was going to be quite like that.
No, definitely wasn't expecting that.
No, it was crazy intense, but I dug it so much. I keep liking the more dark elements they have been adding to the show this entire season.
I feel like at this point we need to go back and kind of watch the episodes when they were in the dollhouse, because things keep coming back up. Like, we obviously saw them all in the morgue or whatever, and it was kind of creepy when we saw it, but it was like, obviously there's a point to that now. Like, here's things that are resurfacing weeks later.
I want to hear about what happened to Sarah. Will Sarah start telling her stories?
Selling
I
her
can't
what?
talk. I can't talk.
The chat is going crazy about how Aria's Iceland story is foreshadowing. You guys are on point today.
They
Yeah.
are.
They're always on point.
Man.
All the theories that you guys tweet at us, like, floor me every time I read them. I'm like, you guys are so on point.
It's
You all should be
amazing.
sitting here.
Because she has not mentioned Iceland for,
Years.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, that one time when I came back from Iceland, remember when the series started?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because the first person she met, and I, again, crossing my fingers, this is not the case. The first person she met when she came back from Iceland, like, she was like, I just got back, Ezra.
I want you to know that I would actually love if it ends up being Ezra.
I will cry, you
What?
guys.
No.
You will see me devastated in here,
Yeah.
and I don't want it, but sometimes when we talk about the episode, little things point that he could be somewhat involved.
It's
I would
so
cry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to talk about it.
No.
I love Ezra so much, but like the further it gets into it, and I'm like kind of losing hope to a really great reveal, that I'm like, just let it be Ezra. Just let it be. That would
Give it
like
up.
be so shocking and disappointing to people that it would have an impact. It would be a wow factor.
No, I mean, we've compared the show to Gossip Girl before, but that would be a definite spoiler alert if you haven't watched Gossip Girl, but
Dan moment.
yeah, I was gonna say Dan Penn Badgley, like that's like somebody we had from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And he's been there the entire time, and it him.
It ended up making total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually rewatching that series now, and sometimes I'm like, why would you do that to yourself? But it makes so much sense because for him, he wanted to be part of the world, and it made him part of the world. So I am interested to see how it connects this way. Because they were able to make that make sense when I don't think they knew who Gossip Girl was.
But I think if it were to be Ezra, then it would be this notion of he took the job as a teacher to get close to them. Like, he started dating Aria to get even close. Like, you could make an argument for it.
Totally.
I just don't want to make that
Right.
argument.
I don't want to go down that path at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And I feel like they wouldn't have dropped him into our lap and been like, he's A, look at all this stuff, when if he was not going to end up, if he was going to ultimately end up being A, they wouldn't have done that whole thing like 3
The
seasons ago.
tease.
Yeah. Where it was like, no, I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, yeah. And Aria had her prom dress covered up, and she's like, no, I don't want you to see. Like, what did you have in there, Aria?
It wasn't Aria.
What did she have in there? Was it a red coat? Because...
No, it was not a
She
red
had
coat.
a dress that
Okay,
would
that's
twinkle
taking
with
it
the
too
twinkle
far.
lights.
I'm just saying, did anybody else think that was weird? She's like,
No.
no, don't open it. That is my prom dress.
No, I don't find it weird.
I do. I found it very weird. I thought that it was...
I don't know. I guess maybe that is weird, but I don't think it was a red coat.
Yeah.
God, like, let it be. I'm like, do something that shocks me, please.
Everybody's writing, yeah, it could be a black hoodie or a red coat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which is pretty fascinating. Also, people are pointing the finger at Lucas, and we've not seen Lucas in so long.
long.
He's
Right.
someone that I always I don't forget about him,
Yeah.
but like, he's not someone that I always like pinpoint, but it would be interesting to have him come and what has he been doing this whole time. But then I would need a whole nother set of flashbacks.
Right.
She's getting ready for OC the musical.
Yes. In real life, that is true.
What?
He's going to be in OC the musical.
How
Yeah.
did I not know that this was happening at all?
It's amazing.
Can I buy my tickets now?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's going to play Seth.
Yes.
Ah!
So if you're in the LA area, something to check out for
Yeah.
sure. But I think it's so interesting the way this entire season. I think a lot of shows, when you have something as big as like a kidnapping at the beginning of the season or a character going off, I'm thinking of like Scandal and other shows like that, it kind of in an episode or two corrects itself. You kind of are like, oh, they're back and it's all okay, and you kind of have one character who's maybe struggling with it. And I think it's a really brave and interesting choice of Pretty Little Liars that this entire season 6 so far has kind of played back to this kidnapping, and and it's not. They're not letting you forget it. Every week is kind of these seamless flashbacks and more information into this world.
They've definitely thought out this season very, very carefully on how they're going to intertwine everything. So
yeah.
makes me wonder, have they been doing it the whole time? Or are they like, oh shoot, we better catch up and start doing it now?
I cannot believe that they have. I mean, from season 1, they knew they had a hit series.
Totally.
So
Oh, yeah.
they had to have realized, like, we're in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
And started to plan out what 5 or 6 seasons would look like.
Well, yeah, had it ended, it would have been Mona.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it didn't. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think they had to, after season 1, start planning a long game out. I can't imagine that it was, like, came up on season 6 and they're like, guys, we're back in the writer's room after our hiatus. What should we do?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
I really, really wouldn't.
They're like, who
more
thought that
faith
this was
in
going
that.
to go so long?
Yeah.
Well, what should we do for the next 6 seasons?
Right. Exactly.
Oh, and did you guys hear that there's going to be a season 8? Did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
I already told you
Amazing.
guys that.
Amazing news.
I got
What are they gonna do?
But
Well, we're going to be in the time jump. So we're
Yeah.
going to see, like,
But
their-
are we gonna like rework back in A?
We gotta work backwards now and
Right.
figure
Like,
out through
y'all,
A's eyes.
If we get this reveal,
Yeah.
and finally after all this time can be like, whew, we know who it is, and then do this time jump and get back into this like crazy convoluted story again of who is A or who is somebody else, like I may pull my hair out.
so what I'm assuming,
like,
and
that's a lot.
again,
Of
tweet
stress.
us your theories because these are all of ours. But I feel like in the planning process, they planned up until the time jump. And so I'm assuming this last season, season 6, has been in some way planning for after that. Like, that's what this
Yes.
whole season is setting up, is the ability to have, okay, they figured out A, but they don't know who Redcoat is. Or some capacity of there's going to be another mystery that we get season 6, 7, 8. And I hope that A is solved. That's what, or Charles is A, and we understand who that is, and then it moves on to another mystery.
I feel
A
like
totally
at this,
separate mystery, you think?
No, I think
See-
it's something that's been introduced, but, or maybe it's like how A did it. I don't know what's going to
That's
exactly
the thing.
play
I don't
out.
think we can actually find out in 2 episodes or 3 episodes. Like, there's no way with this many seasons left to go. They're adding more seasons. We have a freaking time jump coming. It just does not make sense. Like, it does not make sense at all. So it feels like they're not going to do anything. They're going to do the freaking time jump. And this Charles still has to torment them because what else is going to be drama in there?
Well, maybe he'll
I'm
get
dying
put
inside.
away for like 5 years, and then like
Get out?
he gets out, and then like everyone's back in Rosewood again, and who knows?
Okay, well, that could work.
Yeah.
But I'd like for, like, season 7 and 8, we need to do, like,
Yeah.
reverse. Figure out how all this went down.
I'm just really
Well, hopefully we'll see some of that in like 2 episodes from now.
Yeah, I'd like to have
Yeah.
all my answers.
I was going to say, I mean, it's not. So what's interesting is, like, they call this the Summer of Answers, but it's not the series finale. So, like, you're not getting all the answers.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Stop
like,
it.
this is such a joke. We're probably not going to get anything.
Yeah. I'm crossing my fingers for
or
something.
we're gonna get like his mask taken off, and then that's it.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see where this ends in 2 weeks from now, which is insane to think about. But before we do all of that, are you ready for some news and gossip?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
Relatedly, Marlene King has tweeted out numerous times about Mona truly being dead. I believe she said she was 100% dead. And fans get a little upset because Marlene is not always the most truthful. She's a pretty little
Funny.
liar herself, right?
Exactly.
But she claims, she tweeted out today, actually, at 11:09 a.m., if we're going to get specific with it.
That would be Pacific
Thanks for that,
time.
because I really wanted to know what time it was.
I knew you did. There are no lies in my future. This is the Summer of Answers.
That is the biggest lie of them all.
You're just like, I'm so frustrated.
Marlene, stop lying to us.
I'm like a bruised like child. Like she's lied to me so many times.
You're like,
I feel the
yeah.
same way.
I
It's
have
like
trust
the what is
issues.
that childhood thing, like the boy that cried wolf or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like he cried wolf so many freaking times and no one believed him. And then
I'm
the
gonna
wolf
need
came.
therapy after the show. Like, I honestly,
We can go to Dr. Sullivan.
I can't.
Amazing.
Good one.
Amazing. Yes, we are. Doing well today.
Everyone's on point today, guys.
Yeah. So I love, this is a little bit of news and a little bit of fan theory, and 17 Magazine reported it, as well as so many people were tweeting me about it. ABC releases promotional photos every week, and I wish we had
Hold on.
it to
See if I
pull
can get
up, but we don't right this second, but it's such an interesting photo.
We'll tweet it out later. Hashtag ABTVPLL.
Exactly. So
Hey Ray, can you
we'll tweet it out.
let me see here?
But what's going on is that for the prom episode, you see a picture in this promotional photo of Allie standing with a man with a mask on, and it looks as though it could be Jason, it could be her brother, but it also, as we already mentioned tonight, Jason looks very similar to Reese. And so what's interesting about the photo is that it's captioned not as Jason. So it's certainly not Jason. They captioned it as a different actor's name. If this is all making sense, tell me if it's not.
Maybe we can show it maybe on the camera really quick or
Just
something.
stick the phone right
Just
in front of it.
stick the phone right in front.
All
so they
right,
can
are we
see
going to go
really
for
quick.
it?
Go
Little
for
bit
it.
closer.
Go
Go
closer.
closer.
Let them all
Let
see
them
it.
see it.
We're
That's
so
it.
high tech, guys.
That's it, you guys.
We're really bringing
Sorry,
it to
guys.
the-
I tried to download it before,
We
but
didn't
it wouldn't
prepare for
download.
this.
Yeah.
So that's the photo.
We'll
So that's-
also tweet it out.
It looks-
Hashtag ABTV.
Yes.
Just
So
yes.
yes,
In case
we're
you
gonna
didn't get that.
we're gonna tweet it out. But it's this photo that when ABC sends these photos out, they caption them with the actual actors' names, and it's not Jason.
No.
It is actually an actor named Justin Fix, and so everyone is tweeting out about, is this actually Charles? So what I want to know is, once you look at this photo and we tweet it out after our show tonight, it's not Jason. So is it Reese? Or is it a new character that we don't know that could be Charles? Let me know what you're thinking, because this is
I think when we Googled it, it looked just like Reese. When we Googled the character,
I agree.
the actor, when we Googled him, and you pull up his images, he looks just like Reese.
He's so cute.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Reese, and I'm okay with, like I said before, Reese being Charles as long as Charles is an A. And then, like, I think it's Reese, and I hope that it is, and that we're actually giving Allie an opportunity to have a relationship with her brother.
Yeah, she
That's
seems
what
like
I'm
she
hoping.
wants one.
Yeah.
That's weird, though.
Yeah, it's
Given
But
the
if he's
fact-
not bad, though.
No, yeah, if he's not bad.
Right.
But right now she thinks he's bad and she still wants a relationship with him, which is a little bit strange.
Yeah,
but-
that's weird.
Yeah, interesting. It's an interesting thought, for sure.
I am so excited for a prom episode, though.
I know.
Me too.
Prom is like my favorite part of high school.
I was going to say,
Mine
I'm
too.
excited for
Love
Aria's
it.
dress, too, and all the fashion's going to be
I was like,
amazing.
no.
I loved prom.
Yeah, I loved prom too. Before we end our news and gossip, I do have one little Rebecca Breeds, who plays Nicole.
Oh, we didn't talk about her, but we don't like her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't like.
whatever.
No, she's whatever. Yeah. But what is exciting news for her, the actress, is that she'll appear on the originals next season in a recurring
Nice.
role, which is
Well, she's a
awesome.
great actress.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is
She
awesome
is,
for her. I'm
which
so-
also means she won't be on next season.
Yeah. And she's going to play Aurora, who is described as a sexy, seductive, witty, and free-spirited, life-of-the-party character. So
Wow.
I dig that.
a big change for her, I feel
Yeah.
like, from what she plays on Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
So
That'll be fun.
that'll be really fun to see her do that. I'm always excited to have more casting news for Pretty Little Liars.
Agreed.
All right, so ready for predictions? I know we've been doing them so much.
I know. Pretty much you've been doing them the whole episode.
Yeah.
You have
That's all we ever do. You have to.
Yeah, because the show is so
About
like that.
theories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my theory is that Ezra is going to make a big play. I mean, this doesn't have to do with Charles, but my first theory tonight is that Ezra is going to make a big play at prom for Aria, and because I think he wants to be with her in a romantic sense. He doesn't want to just be her friend.
Okay.
And so,
But I think he was on a date. I think he just didn't want to say it. He was on a date, though. That was a date.
I don't think that he was, but I think he's like kind of sneaking out the door by going to have it for humanity. Why? I'm losing my mind tonight.
Habitat for Humanity.
Thank
Habitat
you.
for
I'm
Humanity.
sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But I think that she would actually be making a play for him, not the other way around.
interesting.
I feel like they're both kind of, but like,
Well, she said in a friend way.
right, but she
Which
doesn't
is
really mean
bold.
that.
Yeah.
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 But it
Especially
also,
after this Clark thing, she's definitely not into Clark
yeah.
anymore.
she was also talking about getting a date. Like, she had no one to ask. And Ezra's name didn't come up once. And I was like, well, duh, you should ask him. But you also can't really take him to prom because he used to teach those kids.
Yeah, that would be so
Awkward.
weird. I'm like, why would you even think that that's okay?
They've gone to a dance before together, though. The mask
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It's interesting. Any more Charles there? I mean, we've done a lot of ours. I do think we're gonna figure out.
CC Red thinks that Charles is A, or Caleb is A, and Sarah is Redcoat.
I'm
Sarah-
so behind that theory.
Wow.
Sarah thinks that Jenna is A, and
What happened to Jenna?
Oh,
Jenna
and
fell off the face of the earth.
someone said the Cardio Arts Fellowship is CAF, which equals Charles and Freddie. Cat
Oh.
Garcia.
Dang.
I dig it.
I'm loving
Yeah.
our chat tonight. You guys are doing amazing. Yeah, I think that hopefully by the end of the next 2 episodes, we're going to know at the very least who Charles is, and I don't know whether that means we'll know who A is. Because I think that could be a way of separating it.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you because
No.
we cannot find out who A is
But
yet.
how are
No.
they gonna jump?
No.
How are they gonna jump 5 years?
because
And-
A's still gonna be with them.
Yeah.
5 years later.
Y'all, if we don't find out all the answers, I'm not kidding you guys. I may not be here the finale panel. I will be like in the bathroom, like kicking chair. Like I don't know.
I feel like you'll be underneath our table and be like, I have the mic. It's
She'll just
fine."
be crying.
Like I can't. No.
Yeah.
You have tortured my soul for too long, Marlene
Stephanie,
King.
I am so with you
Yeah,
on that one
it
though.
just came to me. I think
Because-
we're gonna figure out Charles and
Guys,
it's not gonna be
let's
A.
not send that into the universe.
It makes me so mad.
We
I want to
only
get up
send
right now.
positive
But it
Yeah.
makes total sense. Why else? How else would this show continue on for another 2.5 years?
Stop talking about it.
I feel like I've really polarized our panel. So with
Ray
that,
is sitting over there, like
Mortified.
cowering in the corner.
It's like, gosh, when
What
does
are
this
they
end?
talking about?
yeah. Well, I think with that, maybe it's time to wrap up this episode of our
Yeah.
after show. And let us know what you're thinking, though. You can tweet at AFTERBUZZ, at AFTERBUZZ TV, and you can tweet me and Instagram me at Stephanie Wenger.
Yay!
You can tweet me and Instagram me at Kristin_Strange.
You all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all the above, everywhere at Heather Joy Smith.
See you all next week.
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro.